Today, it's storytelling time with the Mavic Mini. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. I'm changing things up a little bit. I've had the Mavic Mini for a couple of months now, and I've really enjoyed using this in my filmmaking and just for pleasure. I love using this as a hobby. It's been a lot of fun. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it this much, but I did. So today on the video, I'm gonna take a look at some of my favorite shots that I've done with the Mavic Mini, and we're gonna include some stories because everyone who's ever flown a drone has a whole bunch of stories, both positive and unfortunately, some negative stories as well. So like most of you, when I first got the drone, I was a little nervous to give it a fly. I took it out in the backyard, it seemed okay, but I wasn't sure when I got it out into the real world what it would be like. Sure enough, I was able to take it out to my father-in-law's place out in the country, and they have a field, so I was able to fly it around there. And you know what? It was gonna go really, really well. I have lots of open space, that was fantastic. And it was going okay until it didn't go okay. And I had a little crash with a bird. Now, everybody was okay. The bird was fine. I was fine. The Mini was fine. Maybe my confidence was a little shaken, but for the most part, everything was fine. Now, I know a lot of other people have had really bad crashes with birds and other things, but for the first time I was flying this to have a crash, that was a little bit scary. Now, I'm really glad that the Mini wasn't injured and the bird. I don't want to hurt any birds, of course. We're good, me and the birds. There's a whole bunch around here, so I got to say that. We're good, right, birds? See, told ya. So for me, the crash the first time was a little bit scary, but I'm glad it was on nice fluffy grass and there was no damage to the drone. Now, one of my first shoots ever was right here at the beautiful Rideau Canal Locks. I actually had a good chance to come out and fly just a little bit because it was a busy day and there was lots of people around and I didn't really want to fly in front of people. So I found a good spot. The water was very, very calm that day, and I got some good shots. It was a good learning experience. It was the first time I used the ND filter. So take a look at that right now. Now, one of my favorite places to go in the city and one of my favorite bridges is the Prince of Wales Bridge. It's an old time railroad bridge. It's not working anymore. Matter of fact, it's kind of condemned and they shut it off. So you can't really get up in there, but there's nothing stopping you from getting some cool drone shots. So for me, I was out early again to try to get some drone shots. I was trying to find a good spot to set up and there really wasn't any so that you could see the drone and get the shot that you wanted. So I did the next best thing. Instead of hiding in a spot where no one could see me and I wasn't bothering anybody, I hid in plain sight. That's right, I sat right there on the bicycle path. Bikes were coming right by me, joggers were coming right by me, and I had my controller. No one really knew what I was doing. They thought I was maybe playing Candy Crush or something on the phone. They had no idea, and I was able to fly the drone for about half an hour and get some really great shots. I loved being able to do that. Now, sticking with the bridge theme, I'm not sure why I like bridges. Maybe they just look really, really cool in drone shots. This is the Vimy Bridge. It's here in my hometown. It's been there for maybe about 5, 6 years. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. But it's kind of a neat looking bridge, so I really, really appreciate the design of it. So it was fun to be able to fly the Mini there. Now, in order to fly here, there really isn't a good place to land and take off. So I had to learn to launch with my hand and to retrieve it and land with my hand. I was super nervous about this. Water was very close. There was trees. I didn't have a lot of room, but you know what? I took my time, I was patient, and it worked. Maybe not on the first time it took off on me, but eventually it worked. Now, maybe my favorite shot of all is the shot of this boat. Now, the story behind this boat is called the SS Pumper, and it's a fireboat, and it was in the States, working in the States. It was brought up to Canada and it was used as a tourist boat. But of course, after a while, boats get old and somebody let it go into disrepair. Unfortunately, it's just sitting here in the water. So what did I do? Well, I asked the owners of the property around there if I could have permission to shoot, and sure enough, they said no problem. And this is the results. I think it was pretty good. I'm not the greatest at that. I've just kind of picked it up and I'm trying to circle things. I try to practice as much as I can, and I think that's important. For this shot here, to be honest, I just got dumb lucky. Look how close I come to the trees here. Of course, I love the fact that I come this close. I love that depth, but for me, that was a little bit too close to those trees. I was watching the shot. I was probably about 300, 200 meters out watching it. I'm thinking, am I good? Am I clearing those trees? Am I gonna go around those trees? I didn't want to go up because I loved the shot. I thought it was really, really cool. And sure enough, the shot turned out to be pretty good. I'm really, really proud of that shot. It's probably one of my favorite shots, and it's also probably one of my scariest shots. Now here in Ottawa, we have a lot of beautiful places. I love this time of year, the fall, the leaves are changing, that's great. We also have a couple nice waterfalls in the area. This is Hog's Back, right kind of in the middle of the city. When I went out, it was nice and early, but of course they were working on the bridge. Isn't there always construction on bridges? Why is that? They're working on the bridge, so I didn't really want to showcase the bridge too much, just the waterfall and the area. And I think it turned out really, really nice. I really wish I had more time at this location. Unfortunately, I had to get going and the whole place got really, really busy. It was a beautiful morning, so a lot of people were coming out to enjoy the Hog's Back. Now this time of year in the fall, the leaves are changing, everything looks fantastic. I love when those leaves change and the fall weather is awesome. It's not too hot out, the sun's out, it's perfect. I really like shooting in this weather and I love shooting with the drone and the leaves changing like this. There's just something about shooting a drone over top of the leaves, over top of a forest or water when the leaves are this color. I really, really like it. Now another thing I was able to do this past summer is capture my father-in-law's harvest. Now they had the combines out, combining the fields. I believe this is rye. I apologize to all the farmers out there if I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll let me know. But they were combining. I didn't have a lot of time. They were combining. I had to get set up and get going. I was having some problems with the camera. I had some camera shake. I mentioned that in an earlier video. I'm not sure why that was. I've never had that problem before and I never had that problem since. So it scared me a little bit, but I was able to stay and get some shots and they turned out pretty well. I really love the fact you have these large combines going through the fields. Everything, dust is spitting up. It looks really, really cool. I really, really like shooting it. I wish I had more time to shoot the combine. Now let's talk about a little bit of a negative issue of droning. I'm sure everyone has had this problem. People are the worst, aren't they? I know, I'm just joking. Some people are the worst. Now, for me, I haven't had any negative encounters while flying the drone at all. The only negative encounter I had was when I was at this location kind of scouting out to see what I can do and where I can shoot. Now, while I was there was a bunch of people taking photos and they were obviously bird watchers. They love these birds. And we started talking a little bit and that's when I found out quickly just how much some bird watchers dislike, maybe even hate drones and drone pilots. They can't stand them. They didn't know I had a drone, so they had no idea. They just thought I was a videographer or a photographer because I had my regular camera with me. But the amount of dislike they have for drones was unbelievable. I was shocked. They told me that these drones ruin everything for the people around here, that nobody likes them. Now, I got nothing wrong with bird watchers. It's a beautiful thing to do, take photos. I love it. They're out in the open, hiking. That's great. I love it. They're out. Most times they're older people and they're out getting fresh air. Hey, that's great. But I don't really see why they dislike drones so much. I get that it might scare the birds off, but responsible drone owners stay away from the birds as much as they can. And for me, I've never really had an issue with a flock of birds other than that first crash with the one bird. But we're good now, me and that bird. So that's when I quickly found out that some bird watchers really, really do not like drones. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but when I first got this drone, I was super nervous about a few different things. First of all, I didn't want to crash the drone. That was the big one. The other thing, I did not want to break any laws or any permits or anything like that. Now, with the Mavic Mini here in Canada, officially you don't need a permit or a license. You just cannot fly this drone recklessly, which is not a problem. Most people do that responsibly, and for sure I do it responsibly. But I was still nervous about flying this drone. I still made sure I'm not flying anywhere near people. I didn't want to go anywhere near people, and I still don't fly over people. I'm very, very careful. However, after flying a little while, I'm much more confident flying this drone, especially around water. When I first got the drone, I was very, very tentative about flying over water. I never had any close calls or anything, knock on wood, but at this point, I'm very confident flying on water, and to be honest, it's one of my favorite things is flying over water. Okay, so thanks for watching. I really had a lot of fun putting this video together. It's fun to look back at some of my favorite shots and my favorite stories, even if some of them are a little bit negative. Anyways, what about you? I would love to hear about some of your favorite stories with the Mavic Mini or any drone that you've flown, good or bad. Hopefully, most of your stories are positive, but sometimes when you fly a drone, you take that risk. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you don't, that's okay. Now, it's time for me to stop talking and do a little flying. We'll see you guys.